Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be giving you some tips on how you can condition yourself to be better at doing backflips. Let's go. This is me doing a backflip presently. You can see I'm whipping around my arms. This is like 10 years ago, a bit more agile. I'm doing back handsprings continually. I can pretty much do it now still, but yeah, it's probably not what I want to do right now. And backflips off like different objects and things like this. I've done front flips off bus stops, over 10 people. Here again is back handsprings. This was last summer, and yeah, I was going quite a big distance in there. I can still do it. It's been a while, but I can still do it. And here I'm doing some backflips. I'm going to do it in different angles to show you what it would look like from different positions. So you can see I only take a small push down on my legs before I explode it. Okay, now we're going to do some training for backflips. Trying to do strength training, stretches and all sorts of things that can help prepare you for backflips. So firstly what I'm going to do is I'm going to be stretching, doing my ankles and stretching my legs and joints and things like this. If you don't want to create an injury, it's always good to stretch them a little bit. You can do this by rotating your knees at the socket and also your ankles at the socket. Then you've got all the other stretches that you could be doing anyway. It's something important specifically for the ankles and for the knees, because you're going to be jumping using a lot of force on your legs and you don't want to create an injury in that way. Here I'm just lifting my legs up and down and moving them back and forth, like back kicking, and then just do ballistic stretching and trying to push my muscles and joints past this range of motion whilst warming up my body and making it a bit easier, less chance of injury later when I'm actually doing the backflips. Again, explosive force, doing it on both sides, the left legs and the right legs. Here I'm showing you a different thing of the differences between if you tuck with your legs together and you tuck with your legs outwards. If you tuck with your legs inwards, you've got a chance of kneeing yourself in the face, and also when you tuck with your legs inwards, then you're slowing down your spin because you've got a bigger center of gravity.
Guys, you need to try this. Controlled power, straight arms, straight legs. Yeah? Up.
Here I'm just doing some conditioning. These are like punches, but I'm slapping my toes, really explosive, and just trying to get, basically punching my feet or slapping my feet, get a lot of power. So when you go to do backflip, you can flip, rotate very easily. Here again, I'm showing you I'm doing open and then just grabbing myself almost like as if I was going to be doing a flip, but in the spot, laying down. You can see if the camera is flipped on its side, you can see this is the tucking motion, and you can practice the tucking motion with explosive force, so you know that your core is strong enough to give you the powerful momentum that you need to whip yourself over. You don't necessarily need that much power. You can have a combination with technique as well to get it done, but if you can easily get more power by doing some simple conditioning techniques, then why not do it? This here is pike raises, where you get into a position with your arms by your side and lift your legs up off the floor. This is for the lower abs, and I learned this from a Tim Ferriss book for gymnastics, Tools of the Titans. Here I'm just testing doing jumping in the air, and if you see my legs, I'm going and bending my legs as much as I can, just so I know how to bend my legs and land properly without injuring myself. Here I'm doing it again, but now I'm jumping as high as I can and using the momentum of my arms to lift myself up as high as I can. So in two parts, lifting myself as high as I can with my arms and bending my legs on landing. Here I'm trying it just using the momentum of my arms to push my entire body around. And this is basically isolating different elements of the move and practicing that, so then you can get it more effectively. Here I'm just trying jumping tuck jumps and landing as quietly and as little as I can. So bending my legs properly but tucking up solid. So you can jump as high as you can, tuck as solid as you can, and then land. Here again, instead of with the legs bent over exaggerated, I'm just trying to leave my torso in the exact same spot. So when I jump and when I land, it's the same thing. And you see when you put it all together, then what you do is you've got a backflip. You've got the jumps, you've got the rotations of the arms as you can see there, and then when you get to the highest point, then you do the crunch movement but in mid-air. I think that if you're too scared to do your backflip, then whilst just attempting to get the confidence to do the backflip, do some of the conditioning techniques, because ultimately this is still going to be very effective for you. You're going to have a lot more power and you're going to be able to overcompensate your fear and skill, like and skill with power, so you just put power over it. Here I'm just practicing a backwards roll. If you look at gymnasts, they use something like a cheese mount, where they jump up onto a mount and roll backwards. I haven't got one of them, and this is without any equipment, so I'm just rolling backwards, so you can get used to rolling back on yourself. Also use your roll on your back shoulder so that you don't injure your neck or anything like this. Here I'm conditioning my calves. I'm doing like calf raises, like using a box and just bouncing up and down basically. This is going to strengthen your calves over time, and then you're going to be able to jump more powerfully with more explosive force. You can also try little jumps, so instead of just the calf raises, then you can just do little jumps with that calf raise, get more explosive power. This is like a rolling back arm thing, I don't know what it's called, but you go into a backwards bridge with one arm and then push yourself over yourself. This is the simplified version, where you actually kind of just kick one leg over and rotate around. This also will help you learn how to get over the feel of going over yourself backwards. I'm not sure if this will 100% translate into a backflip, but it'll help you with other corresponding moves in the future. And you can see I'm showing you what it looks like with a little bit more power, going over again and again and again. So here you see, so I use one arm to push myself first before I thrust my hips forwards and kick my legs over. It's exactly the same with a backflip. It's a chain of movements. So first your arm with the duck, and then once your hips in the highest point, then you kick over. And here I do it again. I've done breakdancing and kung fu and like loads of different things in the past, so I'm quite athletic, I would say. I was a lot more in the past obviously, but as age and time goes by, I'm not going to be as flexible. I need to make the most of it. I used to front flip off bus stops, which now I think about it was absolutely insane. I could have killed myself or broke my neck, but at the time I was so confident in doing it that it didn't really seem like a factor or a possibility. And that is it. So yes, I've been going to the gym, don't really exercise as much for the backflips, but if you wanted to do a backflip, what I'd do is I'd break down and isolate different moves. You got conditioning, strength training conditioning, explosive strength training conditioning, and then you got the stretching as well and stuff like this. The importance of the explosive strength training for your core, your abs and your legs and your calves is important, and also the motion of your arms, because if you can focus on each one of these singular elements, you can put it all together later and it's going to be a lot easier. You don't necessarily need to have done a backflip. You could probably do one now, most people can, but without the range of technique and understanding of how you do it, there's an element of fear. But I think if you developed the power, then you have less fear, because you understand your body, understand its capabilities, and it'll feel a bit more natural to throw yourself over yourself. This is another video. Take care, people. I hope you enjoyed. Press the like and subscribe button and see you for future content. Take care, people. Motivation.